Yo, what's going on?
The Back Pew.
We got so much to talk about this week.
You know.
We can unpack like these conversations. See a pedicure.
You would do.
Depends on his feet.
There could be more feet in there.
What's up? What's up, Tam? We in person? We not Back Pew Conversations.
What's going on? This
The Tim and Tam talk. He be doing this stuff on purpose. You here? Go ahead and click that follow, subscribe button. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We everywhere.
Yo, we everywhere. Like literally everywhere.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Back Pew Conversations. I'm your co-host, Tim.
And I'm Tam. What's good, Tim? Happy Tuesday.
What's up, Tam? How you doing today?
Listen, phenomenal. Doing great. Ready to get into some of these topics. It's what is it? We missed last week, so we jumping back into it this week. So a lot has happened, a lot to talk about. So I'm happy to get into it.
Very happy to get into it. Definitely excited to get into it with you this weekend or this week, Tam. It's Tuesday, so I moved a little bit ahead, but thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate you for joining. Join the conversation. Comment below. We love to have an interactive experience with you guys, so definitely looking forward to that. And definitely make sure that you like, share, and follow us everywhere on all the social media outlets because we are everywhere. So hey, let's get to it.
Awesome. So we're going to start it off with the tell age topic of chivalry. So what happened to chivalry in 2024, Tim? I really want to know, but before we actually unpack this, we actually have some video that we need to watch about a Black man talking about what he would do with his wife. So let's actually get into this video so we can talk about it.
From, say, New York to LA. Yes. And both of you walk on the jet. And there was only one first class seat, and somebody had to go to coach, somebody had to sit in first.
Okay.
How would you arrange that?
Are you asking me that?
Yeah.
Brother, if I was on a desert island and it wasn't nothing but a box of peanuts.
No, I didn't ask you
Do you
that.
think
I
I'm
asked
giving
you
her a
about
whole
the
box of
first class
peanuts?
seat. You would go first class
I would
and
go
put your
first
wife in
class.
coach.
Yeah, she don't mind sitting coach. I do. I can't sit up there like sardines.
It's not whether she minds. It's inappropriate for a man to sit in first class and put his wife in
I
the
have
back.
claustrophobia.
That's not how Christ loved the church, man. That's not exemplifying Christ's love.
I don't. How you
The
sit?
bride goes first. The woman goes first. You gotta love her.
No, the man was created first. So that gives you a clue right there.
No, she should help me.
Right. So I'm gonna
Your
help her.
partner.
I'm gonna help her to coach.
It's fine with me. We fly first class, but there are times when I buy the ticket. I'm the church administrator.
But if you both walk on the plane, do you feel like old school, like I'm gonna let him take it? He's the pastor, he's the bishop, he goes up.
If
What I'm saying is how
we bought that
your
ticket,
mindset. There's nothing. First of all, let me say this. There's no judgment here. Forget them.
No.
There's no judgment.
No,
It's
I'm
how
judging.
you judge it.
I'm judging.
You judge it. Y'all can judge. I'm not judging.
I'm absolutely freaking judging. Anyway, so Tim, let's get into it. Before we do that, hey girl, hey sis, how's it going? Happy new week. All right, so before I go nose dive into this, what are your thoughts on this whole topic? Like, I already feel some kind of way about chivalry in 2024, but just based on what this preacher said about his wife putting her in coach, like, what are your thoughts on that?
He said a lot. He said a lot of things. For starters, he said that since he was created first, that he should be in first class first. He also pretty much said that she would be comfortable in coach while he's in first class. It was bad. He is not chivalrous at all when it comes to loving his wife, honoring his wife, and just totally respecting his wife. And my thing is that he cared more about his own comfort when he talked about how his legs don't feel good in coach, but she'll be fine in coach. But as a man, we supposed to sacrifice. You know, we're supposed to. That's what humility is. humility is not thinking less of yourself, but, thinking of yourself less, if that makes sense. And so I would have been humble and definitely would have given my wife the seat. Chivalry is not dead, but it is dead in some areas of the country, obviously. In California, with some of these pastors of Hollywood who seem like they're a little more entitled and things of that nature. So those are my initial thoughts. What about you?
Hey, Lamb. My thoughts, I'm like kind of all over the place just because I thought it was whack. I think that's the simple answer to this whole video. To hear, a man say that, not just any man, he's a pastor. So for you to bring up the fact that God created men first, but forget the fact that it's a husband's responsibility to sacrifice himself as Christ did for the church. That means you have to be a sacrificial lamb in so many cases as a man. We didn't say that as women, but that's Bible. That's Bible right there. So if we're just kind of honoring what God says, I know it's very vain to think about first class versus whatever, sitting in the back, but to think that you wouldn't have a heart to want to give up your seat for your wife. Like when I think about just giving up your seat, like it could be anywhere. It could be on a train. It could be on a plane, on the bus. Like the idea that you don't want to give up your seat because you're claustrophobic, but you're not thinking about you're not thinking about your wife, and for her to be like, oh, whatever he wants, all that kind of stuff. To me, if it works for them, cool. But, if that is, the mold and he's teaching people to be that way as a man, I have to question, where's the chivalry in that?
Yeah. He doesn't have much chivalry. He's out for himself at his advanced age. And so, which doesn't have much to do with anything other than the fact that he's just an old man stuck in his ways who just said, listen, she'll be fine. And coach, she like to talk back there with people anyway. I like it quiet. So he said, forget about that. But chivalry is not dead, ladies. There are men out here who still walk on the side, the right side of the sidewalk.
True.
There are still men who open car doors for their lady. There are men who still take the trash out and don't allow you as a woman to take any trash out or to do a lot of the heavy lifting. There's still men who value being a man and sacrificing for the greater good and for the person that you love, because that's just the name of the game as a man. So
Drita asked, so what did I miss? You missed a lot. We were talking about where's chivalry in 2024. We just got through watching a video of a pastor say that if it was only one seat in first class, that he wouldn't give up his seat for his wife. So we're unpacking that. We're unpacking, based on that logic, does that mean chivalry is dead? And my brother Tim is saying, no, it's not. It might be dead for him, but it's not dead for a lot of other men that are out there. But what are your thoughts? You guys was watching. I see it's a couple of y'all. First of all, where are y'all watching us from? Don't be shy in the comments. Let us know. Go ahead and type it. Let us know where you're watching from. What do you guys think about chivalry? Is it dead in 2024? I don't know.
Well, my question to you, Ms. Hypergamy, are you dating anybody that is not chivalrous?
You said, would I date someone who wasn't chivalrous?
I'm just saying, I'm asking personal experience right now because,
No. Easy answer. I don't think I've ever dated anyone that wasn't chivalrous or like knew how to sacrifice or just just like being a man. I mean, that's what I just imagine a man automatically operating in a certain kind of way. I've only had that experience. So, and knock on wood, I hadn't had any, bad experiences like that. But yeah, the guys that luckily that I come across are very chivalrous for sure. Opening car doors, opening the door, point blank period. And I will say, like, one of the things that I teach my daughter now that I had to break this habit is like, when you single for a little bit and you start dating, you gotta, stop opening those doors for yourself. You gotta slow down a little bit, give them an opportunity to open that door. Okay. women. You can't be just automatically, opening the door in the car or at the restaurant. Slow down. I know you're hungry, but just, slow down a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I can see that. I can see that for you, especially, which is a good thing. And that's what my sis deserves, chivalrous men. So if y'all are out here and y'all have chivalry down, DM Tam.
No, shoot your shot in the comments. Don't DM me.
Better yet, shoot your shot in the comments. Or if you want to be extra chivalrous, Tam's Cash App is. Go ahead.
Oh snap! Listen, I don't think I want that title. All right, we got some comments. Let's get into it. Jarita says, crazy. I just had a conversation with a guy that said it's basically okay for a man to cheat because the other woman or women don't matter. But if it's his woman, if his woman cheated, the relationship would be over.
So I'm gonna address that really quick.
What the heck?
All right. So I know I'm probably about to butcher your name. Jarita?
Is it Jarita? Make sure I'm saying it right.
Yeah, we might need the pronunciations like Jarita. Bouncing balls in the comment sections, y'all. So go ahead and put that in
and
there.
Deborah, we're gonna get to your comment and Lisa, hey girl.
Yeah, but Jarita, with your comment, I would say we're gonna get into that a little bit later when it comes to men or it being okay for a man to cheat. That's gonna be a pretty good conversation. So definitely stay tuned for that because we have a video on that. But real talk, that's an interesting one. So I just want to kind of throw that out there.
We actually talking about that subject. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, we got the name right too. We on the roll.
Tonight.
All right. Deborah says, I think in many ways it is dead. Our culture is changing to more of a me society that takes away the need to care for one another. I absolutely agree with that, Deborah. I do
too. I agree. People are really out for themselves. So
yeah. Lisa says she's from Michigan. I've been trying to send people to Michigan and have them stop moving to Texas. FYI.
What up, though? What up, though? You better, if you're from Michigan, you better like BMF.
I love that show.
Me too.
Jerry says, if that is the mindset, chivalry is nowhere near. Right, I'd be standing back like how DP I get. Wait, what does that mean? Tim, you don't know none of the slang.
Oh man, I'm about your age. I don't know that either.
I don't know the slang.
Yeah, DP can mean multiple things. So
what's DP?
Some good, some bad.
I really want to know. Do I really want to know what DP is?
Right. She might be spelling it wrong. Wait a minute. She was probably typing fast and meant do, like, right? I be standing back.
Oh, how do I get in? Okay. I was like, the only DP I know of was the dead plumber on Martin.
I be standing back like, how do I get in?
There we go. That makes more sense than what we were trying to figure out. Yeah.
For Lisa, she says it's not dead. You have to show your worth for most men to understand nowadays. Essentially, that's true too. I mean, I think the one time he don't open the door and you just stand there waiting for him to open the door, that'll teach him a lesson real quick, and you'll know if he does it or is accustomed to doing it, or if he'll be trained to doing it.
Yeah, and I like the fact that she says you get what you accept. You absolutely do. Like, I know people say that it sounds very cliche, but you absolutely do get what you for sure accept. You can't just like give people passes on your boundaries and how you want to be treated. Yeah. All right, so let's get into the next topic. Would you be mad? So this topic is probably like, again, something that we've discussed time and time again, but I seen this photo and I couldn't help but want to talk about it. So it says, my wife asked me for a $3,000 purse. I told her that was a waste of money. She said, okay, no problem. Later on that week, I took her out to dinner and I see her pull out a $3,000 purse from the walk-in closet. I asked her where she get the purse from. She said she got it from a work husband. Now, would you be mad? Would you be mad that your wife got this whole purse that you said was a waste of money from her colleague at work? Tim, would you be mad?
Heck yes, I'd be mad. Heck yes. Heck yes. Would you be mad? I'd be livid.
Would you? Would you be
Absolutely. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. We got some comments coming in. Yep, exactly. That's 2024 nowadays. We doing some crazy mess and still staying alive to tell the story on top of that. Jarita, you said most definitely, totally disrespectful. My wife laughs and says, "Mad is an understatement." LOL. I'm glad she know me. Deborah, you said, "Wow, I would be livid." Mm-hmm. April says, "Yes, because that's a lot of money spent. Would have you wondering what was really going on." Damon also says, "Chivalry died with Gerald Levert."
Dang, Damon.
Women don't like to be courted and treated well. They play the dudes that do that and give their hearts to the community dick dudes. Ooh.
Wow. Wow. What you doing all that ammo in the gun, Damon?
So getting back to your original question, first and foremost about would I be mad? My wife hit it on the nail on the head. I would see nothing but red if that was the case. And the truth of the matter is it's wrong. It's wrong. Even if they disagree on what's important to them, she thinks the bag's important and he doesn't, but your husband said no. Your husband said no. Your covering, the one that you have a covenant with, said no. Regardless of if you agree or disagree, he said no. And then you turn around and you go to a work husband and he pays $3,000 for that same bag. That ain't just your work husband. You are having an affair. Because I don't see no dudes. I've never met a dude just willing to pay, a work dude willing to pay three stacks, or the average working dude, and you not doing nothing with him. You gonna pay 3 stacks to not get nothing, so that you can wear that bag. You can use that bag while you out with your husband. But I'm not getting nothing out of the deal. Nah. I don't. I would not believe that at all. If she came home and said nothing was going on, I would truly know she lying. Seriously. But yeah, Lisa, I had no words. Like reading that was insane. I'm just saying. And Damon, you're right. Chivalry, yes, it did die with Gerald Levert's last album. May he rest in peace. But you still got some good brothers out here. Let's see, what does Lisa say? Lisa says, "Y'all remember when Andre 3000 said, 'Play your part 3 steps'?" Yes. Yup. They right. She right. My wife says, "I wouldn't even come home with a stick of gum from another man." Yeah, LOL. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Notice I hadn't said anything on this topic. I hadn't said anything.
I'm so curious to know what you got to say.
I'm just, I always got to play devil's advocate when it comes to these topics. So let's just say, for hypotheticals, it was her birthday and they got her this bag. Would that then be okay, or is that still wrong?
Okay, Tam, listen.
Yeah, hypotheticals. We're here.
Hypothetically, I'm going to throw it back at you. Okay. Hypothetically, when it's someone's birthday at work, are you getting them a $3,000 bag, or are you getting them Starbucks? I mean, that's a huge difference.
Let's just say they work corporate America in tech.
It don't matter.
It does. It does.
Don't matter. That a $3,000 bag with another man, from another man, the opposite sex, and you marry.
Okay, what if it was a woman? Would it matter? If it was the girlfriend from work, would it then matter?
I don't even think. Listen, in this day and age, it don't matter if it's
no
opposite sex, same sex. It don't even matter because she might want something too. So no, don't accept no expensive gifts from anybody at work.
Lisa, this is a little explicit. She said, exactly. My man be ready to smash my head against the wall if I came home with some other man's gift for me.
I'm not condoning violence. I'm just saying, hey.
Okay, what if it was just $3,000 cash? Can we compromise?
You're really trying to shuffle this into.
I just feel like there's a compromise in there somewhere. We haven't found it yet, but we getting there. What if it's $3,000 in gift cards?
And what you got to do for that? For that 3 stacks?
Just a couple laughing at a couple jokes that may not be funny.
Deborah says,
you know,
because I'm not feeding into your nonsense. Deborah says, in all fairness, if I think I know what you're trying to say. If the shoe is on the other foot, as women, we would be at the job and in handcuffs. Yes, you would. If y'all found out, if she found out where, like, if I got like the Louis Vuitton shoes, the belt, the bag, the man purse or whatever, and I come home in that, and I said I wanted it, and she said no, it's not a good allocation of resources, and I still turn around behind her back and bring it home from work, and she don't have no right to question me, she gonna question me. And then I got to answer to that. And then I got to tell her, hey, my work wife gave it to me. Yo, she's smashing my head in, and she going up to the job and smashing her head in. It's just the way it is. Wow, I can't believe you even trying to play devil's advocate on this.
I need to be with somebody that's going to go to work, get $3,000 in cash from their work wife, and give me half. I just need a team player.
You need a team player. You need somebody that might get hurt out here. Yo, chill, yo.
Need a team player. You know, baby, what your work wife gets you? 3,000. Here's half. Here is half, babe.
Hold on. All right, so she's saying you trying, Jarita, you trying, thank you. You trying too hard. $3,000 is too much. $3 ain't too much now. If it's $3 and you want to buy me some candy from the store downstairs, that's cool. $3 I ain't gonna trip about on my birthday. Okay, but you talking about $3,000? There's a problem.
Y'all don't know how to pimp the system. See, this is the problem with the young generation. You know, 3,000. What's half of that, Tim? 1,500. That's yours if you act right.
She's trying to convince y'all to actually go and do this, which doesn't.
Yeah, think about it. These purses. They are commodities. These are assets. They increase in value. You hear me? You're not looking at these as investments. You just thinking about the wrong stuff. I don't understand it.
Okay. Damon says, LOL, you say that now. You're going to instantly think he did some tricking and licking to get that money. Thank you.
You're right.
Thank you.
You're right. Bring me back. Bring me back. You're right.
Man.
You're right.
Lisa went sentimental on us. She said, love and loyalty is priceless. Trust is priceless. 100% true. 100%
right. True. Let's make sure. I'm gonna make sure I keep y'all name. Make sure I reach out to your coworkers and tell them y'all don't deserve no birthday gifts. $3 is too much, according to Deborah.
Okay. I think she meant 3,000.
No.
$3.
Y'all don't want no gifts. Y'all don't want no potlucks.
Give me a gift card. I'm cool with that.
No donuts in the morning. Y'all don't need none of that stuff because it's too much. Your wife can't even have a stick of gum. Okay.
She chose if he offered her a stick of gum, I ain't tripping about that.
It's too much.
But she say it's too much, so I respect it.
Deborah says the principle. Okay. All right. I hear y'all. All right. So let's move on to the next topic. The next topic is, would you protect your ex? It gets deep. So this is another topic I saw online. And the man says that he would not step in if his baby mother is being physically abused by her new boyfriend because that's not his responsibility anymore because she no longer is under his protection. Thoughts? Is he right or is he wrong? Would you protect your ex if they were in an abusive situation and your kids was over there, Tim?
Whew. It's kind of I'll be honest, it's kind of a tough one. It's kind of a tough one. Like not any ex, but baby mother. Yes. Even that to me.
Not you said,
No, I get it. Like you want to, but then again, it's like this really isn't none of my business. Now, if we talk a dire situation or something, and I mean life or death, that's one thing. Stepping in that, but it's tough. It's tough because you don't want to see that person get hurt, but also you don't know what you stepping into, even trying to protect them. And on top of that, I do agree. It's you're not my covering anymore. Especially if we were married, you're not my covering. So it's tough for me to even step into something that I have no idea that I'm stepping into, or it's not my place. And so from that aspect, I still got to protect myself, my covenant, my family, and things like that before I decide to step into my ex's situation. So it's like, while you don't want to see that person get hurt or be in a domestic violence situation or anything like that, you don't necessarily want that. But you also can't just be sticking your nose into just anything either, because that covering is gone. And so, like I said, it's a tough situation. That's why I say, while I might have a big heart, but I got a brain too, and I got to still use my brain. So would I protect them? I'm veering on the side of no.
Let's get into some of these comments and see what people say. So, let's start with Damon, because he did say baby mother, yes, but ex, no. So y'all got to have kids in order for you to protect her. So that makes a lot of sense to me. He also said is the perfect response. When you
that's tough, man.
Lisa says, yes, I will protect my ex because he protected me when I needed him. Deborah hit us with a she's still thinking about it. Lisa came back in and said, when it comes to protecting somebody, it depends on the situation. If they put their self in that situation, then you do not protect that person because they can be right back with the same toxic situation. Now, Deborah came back and said, that's tough. Let's say he's now also married. I think it would be disrespectful to his wife. That's true.
Yep.
Damon says, if that situation was endangering my children, then I'm gonna step in, but ain't gonna get in the middle of poor decisions. And then Jarita hit us with, as long as the kids aren't being impacted. My thoughts on this, obviously, I just, topics like this, protecting your ex, I feel very vulnerable as a woman. I don't know. Like, I have what do you want me to do? Like, what's happening? How can I protect you? I don't really know, but I think if it was a situation with my ex and it was something that I could do, I think I would do it just because I have a heart to do it. I have a heart to help everybody. God working on me. But I think I would help anybody, especially if it's like a dire situation and I know that I could sometimes save people from themselves, because sometimes people need saving from themselves. It's just part of life. I myself included. I think I would step in, Tim. I think I would. I have a heart to do that. But that's that sacrificial piece of me that would want to do that. But I get it. Like, it makes more sense. Like, if you have kids with a person, of course you want to make sure your kids are good by making sure the parent is good, right? So that kind of goes hand in hand for me. But yeah, I absolutely would, unless it was just something crazy, then no. If it was just stupidity at work, then no, absolutely not.
Right. Man, that's fair too. I just know for me, it wouldn't even be an option to even indulge into that, just because it's just not who I am. Even when it comes to confrontations and things like that, for me personally, I just try to avoid them anyway. So yeah, I try to avoid them. I don't even want to see them or anything like that. So it's kind of like, hey, I'm you on your own on this one. Sorry.
All right, let's get into the next topic. Does working from home mean you gotta cook dinner every night? What? There's a video that actually went viral, and there's two sides of this video. So let's get into it. So one side of this video is the husband is like, he works long hours away from the house. The wife works from home. Should she be responsible for having a hot meal for him when he gets to the house? Let's talk about it, but let's actually get into what the video actually says directly.
Y'all gotta listen to this one.
I just pulled a 13-hour shift, and I ain't got no food to come home to.
Why didn't you get something on your way home?
You being my wife, I pay all the bills in here.
All the dishes clean, your clothes clean. Wait, what?
You don't fish me no lunch for my job. You eat. You work from home.
Girl, food could have been on the stove while you was working.
Okay,
I can't come home to a full course meal.
That's leftover that I had from last night.
But I'm saying I can't come home to a full course meal. What we married for? What we married for?
I'm not your mama. I'm your wife.
You been doing it for like 2 or 3 months, man. What is it?
If you work from home, there's no reason that you shouldn't have food on the table for your husband when he arrives. There are crock pots.
I'm gonna let you start this one tonight, Tam. What you think?
Why would you alley-oop this to me first?
I just started.
I want to go to the comments. Ain't nobody gonna save me in the comments. Oh wait,
nope.
Damon, she got the nerve to be sitting there eating and he making this man a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's crazy.
He first said this though.
What? Yes.
He said yes. He think if you work from home, she need to be cooking. So that's what he thinks. But I want to know what you think.
Wild. Okay, so first of all, I work from home. Tink tink. I work really hard, and you know what? One of the things that I hate, I'm a little biased because one of the things that I hate is that when people hear that you work from home, they think you just like doing nothing all day. They're like, oh, you work from home. That's fine for you. I hate the notion. Because I literally, before I hopped on this podcast, I was working my corporate job. So I'll be tired, y'all. So I ain't even ate myself. So if I can go make me a little sandwich in 5 seconds, I'm a little biased. But she's married. I'm not married. So suck it up, buttercup. If you marry, then there's just some things that you have to do. I don't know about cooking a meal every single day and being treated as if you are a stay-at-home mom when you are a work-from-home individual. Those things are completely different. Or a stay-at-home wife, especially if you don't have kids. You know, stay-at-home mom is a job. Work-from-home is a job. Now, if you just stay at home, that's completely different. Of course, dishes gonna be clean, house gonna be clean, and I'm gonna have the meal ready for you every single day. As he said, he's paying the bills. So that, you know, and that would be fair to me, but I think there needs to be a conversation around her workload, what she's doing actually at work. Because sometimes when you're at home, people think you get to break away, but there's no cutoff time when you working at home. It's not really a work-life balance like people think. And I think for him, he needs to understand that although she's working from home, she is still working, right? So I think there needs to be a conversation, but I also think that his needs should be met, right? If he is paying all those bills, girl, at least make his lunch. Like you could, like he said, you could have made his lunch for the day. If you're not gonna cook dinner, at least pack his lunch. Like at least do that. But that's what I got to say on it. Tim, what you got?
Actually, I agree with you pretty much. So I don't think this should be a conversation about gender roles. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think we're in 2024. There are men that love to cook. There's men that cook better than women. I mean, that's why we have chefs out here in the world. So it's not like it's not a gender thing. I think it's more so a respect thing from each other. For her, okay, she's a work from home wife. And like you said, there is a difference between a work from home wife and a stay at home wife. There is a difference. And if a stay-at-home wife primarily is to take care of the home, cooking is a part of taking care of the home, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
If she's a stay-at-home wife, it's like you can do all those things, such as the laundry, and cleaning up and all that. But if you're missing one main component that is important to him, that might be a part of his love language. Who knows? But at the same time, that's where the conversation comes in about what the expectations are between the two of y'all. If y'all haven't had the conversation that she's going to cook every day and you just expecting her to cook based on the fact that you work 13 hours, then you, sir, are wrong. And you have to temper your expectations to align with what she actually can do, or what she chooses to do, or what you guys discuss can be done. So there is a gap in communication between the two of them that needs to be discussed, because a work from home wife, and if you're a mom as well, is not an easy task. It's not easy juggling and balancing the working aspect as well as taking care of your husband and taking care of your kids. So it is a very, very hard job to have to balance your work, to balance the home, and to balance the needs of someone else. That's a hard thing to do as a work from home wife. And so as men and as husbands, we have to understand that, yeah, she may not have the physical capacity to cook every day because of how spent she may be, because of the things that she's gone through throughout the day. You have to take those things into consideration as husbands. And so there could be times where she may not cook. She may order out, or she may just throw something in the crock pot or whatever. We're not completely absolving her from the responsibility, because, you can't just be sitting there eating and you haven't made him lunch. You haven't been thoughtful enough to at least make sure that this man eats. That's still your husband. You still make sure he eats, and, those types of things. That's still a thing that we appreciate, just to make sure we ate. And it doesn't mean that you got to cook us food, just whatever that could be. And so, I just think that there's a lot of gaps in the communication. I do not think that a working from home wife needs to cook or should cook. I don't think that's fair, but also it's tied to the expectations that the two people have set forth in their marriage on what that expectation is, and you guys agree upon it, and that's how you guys operate.
Yeah. Let's get into some of these comments. So Lisa says, listen, I don't play that stuff. If you don't cook for your man, some other woman will. I bet you I'm cooking for my man. She also says, you shouldn't need a title to cater to your partner, male or female. Now, Damon, he always saying something crazy. What you got, Damon? He says, if you're not going to cook, at least DoorDash something. You've been at the crib all day. That's fair. That add up, Damon. You don't need DoorDash every day?
Nah, that's understandable too. If you've been at the crib all day, at the very least, maybe let's have a conversation about what we're going to eat.
Right. I'm gonna say, look, and that's the thing. Usually, sometimes dinner is a two-party system. Babe, what you want to eat? I don't know what you want to eat. It's like one of those things, and you figure it out together. It's not always coming home to a home-cooked meal, unless she is a stay-at-home woman, and that is something that you guys discuss. Now, April says most days there should be dinner ready, but it would be fair to say that she may have long, hard days working from home sometimes during the week. That's absolutely fair. Now, Deborah came in and she said the biggest component here is communication, and I completely agree with that. One of the things that she mentioned when she was talking, she was like, but the dishes is clean and your clothes are clean. Like, she was like, I've done this other stuff. Like, what? Like, it's always, to me, what I heard, she didn't say this, but I was like, dang, it's always something. I can never be perfect. I can never be perfect. So what if the dishes weren't clean and the clothes weren't clean, but he had dinner on the stove? Like, would that be enough?
I was just about to say that. Sometimes, even we talk about love languages, right? Mm-hmm. We will perform the love language of our love language compared to that of someone else's. Yeah. And so that was what I heard. That's why I said love languages while I was talking about this, because if the clothes weren't done and if the cleaning wasn't done, but you had food on the table, which was most important to him, he probably would have been ecstatic with the fact that he worked 13 hours and a meal was on the table and the house was dirty. He probably wouldn't have cared about the house being dirty. And so sometimes we do things expecting our partner to be appreciative and loving and so grateful, which we are, but grateful in a way that responds to that other person based on how they would want something done for them in their love language. If you love gifts, but you keep giving me gifts and I'm not getting you nothing, that's going to make you feel some kind of way over amount of time.
True.
So so from that standpoint, that's where it's like she has to be mindful of what he's truly complaining about. He's complaining about what's important to him. A lot of times in relationships, we complain the most about what is important to us, or we shut down based off of what's important to us, or we give up because of what's important to us, but it's not important to the other person. They don't prioritize it. Mm-hmm. So we give up, or we just stop talking about it, or we just, whatever the case is, or we deal with it accordingly. And so you don't want to get to that point with him where he might take on the mentality of my wife don't cook for me, but that woman at work, we've been talking about work wives and husbands tonight. Oh. Work wife, she ready for me to come over and get a meal and cook a meal for me. Because I'm going to work and complaining about my wife not cooking. So she gonna do a little something for me. And then she might do a little something else for me. And now you're in a whole web of mess all over the fact that he ain't getting no food. We know it's a deeper issue in that case, but even how the little things start out to be something crazy. It's wild.
Yeah, Deborah said exactly what you said. Still, communication is his love language. Doesn't seem like to have been met. So she also says that women and men have a big opportunity to really understand each other intentionally. That's so true. I'm going to pause real quick and give a quick shout out to Damon for giving me 100 stars. Thank you so much. This is for you. This is a plot. Thank you. All right. All right. Anything else on this topic, Tim?
I think we're good.
All right. Let's get into one of your topics for tonight. Women nurturing your submissiveness.
Yeah, this was an interesting video that I kind of sent over to you and just was curious about it from your standpoint. I would love to hear from another woman on if this woman is correct or not. So let's take a listen. Drop your comments in the comment section below after this.
No matter how healthy your man is, you have to nurture your submissiveness. You have to nurture the ability to follow. You have to nurture the ability to be quiet, even if your ideas or direction or something feels better. In order for your man to even have the ability to grow, sometimes you got to fall back. And that fallback game, it has to be nurtured. And so I always speak to the women that say, all I need is a man to come in here and to lead and to show me that he's a good leader. And then I'll become this feminine submissive self. And it's not always true, sis. There are women that are with great men and literally just don't know how to be quiet.
Come on.
Like they literally don't know how to fall back. And this is not a shot. It's like you don't know how because you've never done it, especially if you are 30, 40 years old and you've just been getting it out the mud and working and assertive and deciding. And you cannot think that that's just going to turn off. That's something that has to be trained.
All right. So, Tam, what's your thoughts on this?
I loved every bit of that video. I love it. It's raw and it's real and it's so true. And I wish more women talked about what it looks like to be submissive. And we kind of talk about this because we talk about like people think submissiveness is a dirty word and it just means slavery and bondage and all these things. But it's just the ability to be led. Like we say we want men to be leaders, but what does that require from us? We never talk about what that requires from us to be led. And it takes a bit of humility and a bit of patience and restraint to be able to be in that role, to be led, to have someone speak for you or speak up for you or guide you. All those wonderful things that we say we want men to do, but when we get it, it does not always feel great for someone to tell you no or don't do that because they have a different perspective or they see things that we don't see because we've been able to make, all of these decisions on our own. But I loved every piece of this video and I am still working on submissiveness, as I think all women should be. We should all be working on the ability to be meek and to know when to shut our mouths and to know when to allow a man to lead, especially when you know he is being led by God. Like when you know he's being led by God and you refuse to follow, what is that really saying about you? So what you got, Tim?
Shout out to all the women who know how to be submissive, because I know that submission is not an easy thing, and it's something that has to be developed, you know. So I applaud women who know how to be submissive. I think just like how chivalry is not dead, submissiveness isn't either. I think there are women out here, period, who want to be submissive, who are probably tired of having to be the leader in every part of life, to where they have a good, strong strong man, a strong man who is led by God to be able to submit to him. I can speak from personal experience with this topic, because I remember when I was getting married to my wife, and the one thing she said in her vows, Tam, was how she felt comfortable. I know I'm paraphrasing it right now, but she knew that I was led by God, and so she was able to easily follow me. Mm-hmm. That has been true. I mean, and even when I know it's been difficult, or when it's been challenging, or when I haven't always been right, she still is submissive and follows. And that's rare, and it's appreciative, especially knowing that when you prove as a man that you have her back and she has your back by allowing you to be a man. I think it's a beautiful thing. Of course, I'm pretty sure all women can say they're developing that in some way, shape, or form, but it is a great thing to see and to witness when you have it. And so I think it's a great thing. I know that there are women out here that want to be led by a good man, a good Christian man, a good man of faith, who knows that he can be submissive to God, unto the Lord. He submits himself under the Lord, and ultimately she can easily submit under him, from that aspect. And so I think it's a beautiful thing in marriage, especially. But I do think that that's something that you don't just develop that in marriage. You have to develop that before marriage. You have to develop it, to develop it in ways before marriage, so that you're not taking a crash course in it when you get married, because how your marriage starts, how your relationship starts out, and you get married into that without that development, that's how your marriage is going to go. And so I would say women definitely develop that in your everyday life. I look at it like this. A lot of times we as husbands, sometimes we be like, women, y'all be submissive to the boss, but y'all won't be submissive to the husband. Y'all be submissive to anything that boss say, but you won't be submissive to your husband. And I have
a solution for that, Tim.
Ooh, what's the solution?
Tell your wife she can quit and she don't have to submit to a boss.
Of course, that'd be yours.
I'm just saying, problem solved.
But problem not solved, because if I'm still complaining about, not me personally, but as a husband, if I'm complaining about the same thing now, and you think that quitting a job is going to be the case, no, that's something within you that needs to be fixed and that needs to be developed and worked on. And not quitting your job is not the solution.
I see two sides of this spectrum. Just because, like Monique put in the comments, she said, but as a husband, you have to know how to lead. But how to lead also comes with your own submissiveness, right?
Absolutely.
And oftentimes when we think of the word submissiveness, it's always pinned on the woman to be submissive, but not the man. But the Bible says we're supposed to submit to one another. But not only that, the man is supposed to submit directly to God, right? So when we don't do that and we just view women like we're the only ones that submit, sometimes there is misalignment, right? But to your point, right, you're right when it comes to like, you know, that respect piece that women sometimes, you know, when we're at work, our husbands can feel like we give more honor or respect to our bosses than we do to them. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if it's because it's an exchange of something of value or where that derives from, but I hear a lot of guys say that. And I think that's worth unpacking to figure out, you know, where does that concept come from, that perspective come from, and how is that realized? Like, what does that mean exactly? So women, we can unpack like what respect and honor may look like at home versus the workplace, right? So I think that's worth the conversation. I don't exactly know what that is, but it's not. It doesn't sound like that's something you have to worry about. It's not something I have to worry about today, but I think it's worth the conversation to unpack later on.
Very much so. We definitely need to have a conversation on submissiveness, and not just from a woman's standpoint, because a man, you have to learn how to be submissive as well. And sometimes you have to submit to your wife too. Simple as that.
Listen, you preach.
At the end of the day, if I'm the head, she the neck. So neck can't move, you know, can't move this way or this way. Head can't move without the neck. So yeah. So at the end of the day, you got to submit under her too, and submit to one another, you know. So it's not just the wife needing to submit. We got to submit unto God and ultimately have a woman's best interests at heart. And it makes it easier for her to follow.
Yeah, I agree with that. These comments are good. You guys are preaching in the comments, okay? Monique says it goes both ways. Also be equally yoked. That's so true. When you're not equally yoked, well, I'd say it is the worst thing ever. Monique says it comes from a man's ego. And Deborah says, I actually agree with the video. My submissiveness has nothing to do with how he leads, but how God rewards my obedience.
Amen.
That's good. And that part, Deborah, I'm gonna have to get some tips from you, because that part right there is hard. Because I tell you what, it's hard to follow somebody you know who is not walking in alignment, and you're just following them because you're supposed to, right? Because God has given us a command to be submissive to our husbands, right? It's hard to follow somebody that ain't walking right when you know you're supposed to be walking to the left. And your husband be like, "No, we gonna go to the right." And you be like, you wrote out a whole spreadsheet diagram. You like, babe, we can't go to the right. This is why. And he be like, forget your diagram. We gonna go to the right. How do you follow that? And then when you get to the right, it's crash and burn, right? And you still gotta follow them. But if he is a man of God, he's going to come and be like, you know what, babe, you were right. We went to the left, but going to the right, even though you know it's the wrong way, is hard. It's hard.
I think you gotta, like, even when it comes to submission from a woman's point of view, like, you still gotta give that man that room to grow and that room to make mistakes, and that, you know, and that room to correct mistakes as well. And that's a daily process. As long as he's committed to that, that's huge, because you have men who will say, hey, you're going to follow me because I'm the husband, because I'm the man. And that is out of alignment in itself, because you can't just use the fact that you're a husband and man as the reasons to being submissive. So, at the end of the day, as long as that direction is coming from God, and even when you make mistakes and make emotional decisions as opposed to spiritual decisions, but you recognize you made an emotional decision, okay, hey, I messed up. We should have went left instead of going right. I'm sorry, that's my bad. I'll learn from that. And what woman would not want to hear that? Now, of course, you don't want to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. But at the same time, if you are growing and trying to grow, you can't really ask too much of that. So men, keep doing your part to develop, showing that woman, that good woman that you equally yoked to, that you're willing to grow from the mistakes that you make, as long as she doesn't expect perfection, and she knows that you're working to become better. 9 times out of 10, she'll follow you.
Yeah. Monique says, because one thing I know, if he jump, I'm not jumping, honey. I'm not. That part is hard. I'm trying to tell you. Deborah got some. She got some feedback. She says, "What I had to learn was my relationship with God is between me and Him. His relationship with God is between them. I had to learn to pray and not act because God dealt with me. I felt like I didn't have to submit because He was not where I wanted Him to be. But I married Him. I didn't have an option on when and when not to submit. Trust me on this. I was never blessed doing that either."
Wow.
That's good. That's good. That's gonna help somebody. And listen, it might just help me. It might just help me because it might just help me because it's a challenging thing as a woman. I think men sometimes, not all men, but some men don't understand how hard it is to follow. It's very hard to just follow. Nobody want to be number 2. Who want to be number 2?
I get that, and as men, we can't take it personal. That's a hard thing to not take it personal. But especially when you say it like that, who wants to be the number 2 when you've been number 1 so long? You've been the franchise player the whole time, and now all of a sudden you're not single no more, and you the woman, and God is asking you to submit unto someone. I mean, yeah, that's tough.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Even especially if you're an alpha woman. Can't play. Like what? Like what you tell me to do? I need facts. I need facts that this is gonna work. I need proof because I got this going on in my mind. I'm scared. What you doing don't make no sense. If I do it this way, it makes a lot more sense.
Right.
I get it. But that's where our faith comes in.
All right, let's get into the next topic. So Dr. Umar speaks out again, Tim?
Fellas, I'm going to just say don't do this. Please don't do this.
Don't do it.
This is a disgrace. It's a disgrace.
If my daughter comes to me and say, "Daddy, my husband cheated on me," I'm going to say, "Princess, is he a good provider?" Yes. Does he take good care of you? Yes. You ever disrespect you, raise his hand to you? No. Outside of this cheating, is he what you need in a man? Yes, he is. Was this thing purely sexual? Was it a hit and miss? Or is he really feeling this woman? If she tells me this was a hit and miss, go have a conversation with him about his infidelity. Let him know you do not like it. I will never tell you not to leave a man because he cheated. You want to leave him because he cheated? Go ahead and do it. But I want to ask you a question. How many men you expect to find out there who are never going to go outside that marriage at least occasionally to experience another woman? I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's not realistic to leave a good man for an oops.
Tim,
drop y'all comments in the comments.
Why you got us listening to this man?
That's
why?
I said Dr. Umar speaks out again.
What are your thoughts on this? This is your topic. What are your thoughts on this?
Why you gotta tell everybody it's my topic?
Because it is. I don't want to be at fault. People that's watching.
It's nothing to be at fault with. That's insane. That's insane. My thoughts on this is totally horrible. So you mean to tell me that you would have a conversation with your daughter and tell her to lower her standards and be cheated on? Ultimately, even possibly, it's crazy out here. So risk yourself getting some type of STD or something crazy because he stepped out and had an oops moment. That whole video was hit and miss for me. It was definitely it was more of a miss because anytime Dr. Umar speaks, people listen. But the fact that people are listening to this and it's coming out like this, you're going to have guys rationalizing their cheating now and saying, "Oh, oops, baby, it wasn't nothing, but I still take care of you. I still take care of home. I still do this, and this." None of that stuff matters. None of that stuff matters. I would tell my daughter, you could do all of that stuff by yourself because that's how I raised you. So the fact that you don't need this man for all this other stuff. So all of those things you're trying to rationalize, they don't make any sense to me.
Right. I feel like April. She said you're not that good of a man if you're occasionally oopsing. That is my sentiments exactly. I think too often do some people throw out this title of being a good person, but they're defining themselves as good. I don't think I've ever met any person that has defined themselves as a bad person. I think we all innately think that we're good, even in our wrong decisions or our bad behavior. And that is a huge problem within itself. So for him to be like, oh, he's a good man, he's just cheating on you. And then in the same breath, he's like, well, is he on? He's still honoring you. How are you honoring her, but you're dishonoring your vows? Like, you can't say that this man is honoring your daughter while dishonoring her. That to me is just like so weird. And if he's dishonoring her, then he's not a good man. He's not good enough for her. And then for him to throw out, well, how many men do you think that are actually going to be faithful? What are you as a man who has a huge platform, by the way, you're spewing this. So if you think this way about the masses, and when we say all men are dogs and all men are cheaters and all men are this, it has a very negative connotation because I'm a woman and I'm saying it. Because you're a man and you get to say it, it just sounds like, oh, that's just what all men do. This is just who we are. Occasionally, oops, like, oh, what the heck is that? It just doesn't make any sense to me for him to be saying that. And you know what it sounds like to me, Tim? We heard somebody else say this. We heard Boosie say this. Remember when he was like, you can cheat on her, but don't beat on her.
He said that, yeah.
He absolutely said that a couple months ago. So now here we have a wave of Black men that think that they can create what is good and bad when it comes to a woman's heart. You're still going to break her heart. She may not have a bruise from the outside of her body, but you have bruised her heart. And I hate that we don't take care of people's hearts. I hate that we don't care about the emotional wear and tear and damage that we do, especially Black men, that you do towards other Black women. To me, it's just appalling that in 2024 that you, not you specifically, but you, Dr. Umar, you have not grown in thinking. For you to be so wise and for you to have a platform where people listen to you, they hang on every word that you say. You have not evolved this thinking that you have to be like an animal, that you cannot keep it in your pants, that you, first and foremost, you cannot honor your vows. And you're not just doing that on your level, your generation, but you're teaching your daughter that this is okay. So she's going to teach her daughter that this is okay. And she's going to teach her son that this is okay. And you're just perpetuating a generation that doesn't honor each other whatsoever and have respect for themselves or the people that they marry. And I think it's just sick and very perverted.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Couldn't have said it any better. April says, exactly, making it sound like it's okay. No, it's still not okay. Yeah, I fully agree. It's still not okay. 100%.
Deborah says, wow. Monique says, right. That's crazy.
Nuts. All right. So I think we on our final thoughts.
Yeah, we got one last topic.
We do?
Yeah, this one right here.
Oh, yeah.
Last topic of today. So this one is for the parents out there. And the topic is training versus raising your children. I posted something, not today, but I shared it again today. But I would love to learn kind of like your perspective on the difference of training your kids versus raising your kids, Tim. Do you feel like you're training or raising, or you feel like you're doing a little bit of both?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, biblically, it says train up your child in the way that they should go so that they'll never depart from it. So yeah, there is training involved in being a parent. You're training them up to be good citizens, good Christians, to be model people, good people, honest people, training them up that way. But I feel like raising your kids, I think that comes from a level of maturity. And I think as God continues to raise us and we learn things, and we raise our kids from, I think that's more of like the emotional stuff, in my opinion, the more spiritual things too that we kind of do when it comes to raising them, how we raise them, how they're going to think, how we can shape their minds. That's where raising, I think, kind of comes in for at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the differences. What you got?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think I'm doing both for my kids. For me, raising them is just the nurturing piece, right? To raise them up, to provide for them, to provide like a roof over their head, clothes, and all the good stuff to kind of teach them the model. But training for me is exactly what it, like you said, like the Bible tells us to train our kids. And I think like I had this epiphany maybe a year ago that I was like, man, I'm doing this wrong. I was like, I don't feel like I'm doing enough to prepare my kids for what is truly out there. And I think the same in the church. Sometimes the church doesn't technically train us properly to prepare us for life. Like it's almost like you go to church and you have this euphoria of like joy, and then you get out in the real world and somebody throw you the bird and you be like, wait, how do I respond to this? Like, how do I respond to this? Like, how do I put my faith in action? Do I cuss them out or no? Like, what's going on? But I think like the training piece as a parent is really just the preparation to prepare. So when I think about training, like when you go on a job, they train you for every scenario. They train you on your job, and they train you for the best case scenario and the worst case scenario. And they put you out there and they say, all right, you handle it. You have the autonomy to handle the situation. Should it be good? Should it be bad? They train you. They give you a book. They let you know, all right, this is how we hope it would go. But if it don't go this way, here's some things that you have the autonomy to do. And that's what we have to do with our kids. Like we have to be able to prepare them for the best case scenario in their lives and also the worst case scenario in their lives. And I hate that we don't prepare our kids for the worst case scenario in their lives. We prepare them for what can happen if they get good grades. If you get good grades, you get a good job. You get a good job. Okay, what if they get good grades and they don't get the good job? They get rejection after rejection after rejection. How do you prepare your kids for that rejection? Right? How do you prepare them for the heartbreak where they don't have to think about committing suicide? How do you prepare them when they lose their job, when they lose their house, to still trust God anyhow? Like, how do you prepare them for that? So for me, when it comes to training them, people often lose their faith in either the best case scenario or the worst case scenario. When they get a lot of money, sometimes they think they don't need God. When they lose it all, sometimes they think they don't need God. So I have to prepare them for both. If God gives you everything, I still need you to trust him. If God doesn't answer your prayer and his answer is no, I still need for you to trust him. And that for me is what I am equipping my kids to be able to trust God should whatever happen. So if they fall, they know how to get back up, So that for me is what training versus the raising piece is over here.
That's good. That's good. Somebody needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. Thank you. That was good stuff. Let's get into these comments.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. We're going to go back to Ms. Deborah. Deborah says the sad part is this quote unquote Papa was a Rolling Stone has been glorified in our community, in our songs. The lack of both parents in the household, and honestly, also due to overwhelming reckless sex. I think men and women can better contribute to changing this narrative by practicing abstinence. Never thought I would be old school on the sex subject, but I am. All behaviors are taught and then the receiver accepted. It's real. Yeah,
I love that. That's true.
Monique says, I feel like I'm training my children to be productive young men and women in the world, but I'm also raising them to know how to live, provide for themselves as adults. We train them to get them ready for life, but I feel like we raise them to become more efficient in life and having. the two really coincide with each other. Yep. Deborah also says, personally, the best training is what they see, feel, and experience from us. The do as I say and not as I do is not enough. Modeling rejection, grief, loss, etc. It's good. Onique said that you were preaching. Deborah said amen to you and put her hands up as well. And April said yes.
I didn't come here to preach. I didn't come here to preach, y'all.
You might not have
Let
came
anybody
in.
do.
You definitely was preaching to us. So thank you, Trap Bible Stories. Appreciate it.
All right. We are coming to a close. If you are newly watching, go ahead and what we gotta do for you guys to click that follow button. What we gotta do. We can't strip. I can't strip. It's against my values. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But can't strip. I ain't got nothing to shake if I wanted to. You feel me? But if you're new here, go ahead and click follow, like, subscribe. If you haven't liked this video, go ahead and click like for us one time for the one time. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and type replay. Tim, let's get into some of these final thoughts that we got for today.
Well, we talked about chivalry from Pastors of Hollywood. Chivalry is not dead, but it is a dying breed, as women say, and that's pretty accurate. So, but once again, you definitely have the power to help change that based on how someone treats you.
Yeah.
Would you be mad? So I think that was the one about the whole 3,000 bad purse. Would I be mad? Yes, I would be seeing nothing but red. I hope women don't do that to your husband, please.
Just don't tell them.
Would you protect your ex? I said no. Just don't tell them. Wait, hold up. See, she out here trying to make y'all lie.
Don't listen to me, y'all. Keep y'all happy hoes. Do not listen to me.
Would I protect my ex? I wouldn't, but there are some people that would. Hey, stick your nose out there if you want to. Does working from home mean cook dinners every night? How did I miss this? Yeah, Michelle, you ain't been around.
You missed the whole show?
Yeah,
where were you at?
Judging by your profile picture, I'm gonna say one thing. Kind of forever.
Michelle, you late.
Yeah, you late.
Late for church.
Just keep coming back, y'all. I promise y'all gonna learn and grow. we will definitely be back. Does working from home mean cook dinners every night? To me, no. But whatever is discussed between the two of you should be the expectation. Training versus raising your children, I think we both say we do a mix of both. And I think that's important to do both especially in the season. Women nurturing your submissiveness. I think that's a great thing to continue to develop. I think most women would probably know where they are in the scale of submission. But we also know that it's easier for a woman to submit when her husband is submitting unto God. It's a lot easier. So men continue to submit, continue to be a model of submission as you submit to God and to learn and to grow every day. And that will help her want to follow you. Dr. Umar speaks out again. He's pretty much said that if his daughter found out that her husband was cheating or significant other was cheating, that he would encourage her to not leave. Just the craziest thing on how he doesn't even respect his own daughter to tell her the truth that you should not be doing that. But teach his own. So that's all of my final thoughts for tonight. What you got?
Michelle said she had a funeral service today.
We sorry to hear that. Condolences to your loved ones and you and your loved ones for sure.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into my final thoughts. Is chivalry dead? I think for specific generations, yes. I think there are a couple generations that they were never taught chivalry. They don't know what it is. It sounds biased to them. But I think for people that are as old as you, Tim, you know, chivalry, chivalry is still.
I'm younger than you. Wow. I'm younger than you, and you try to make it sound like I'm old.
Alive and well for your generation, brother, brother Tim. You know, I've seen it with my own eyes. Eyes have not seen. Okay, all right. And then, would you be mad if Work Bay got your significant other a $3,000 gift? I don't know. I don't know if I would be mad. If my significant other was forthcoming, I don't know. I feel like I'm secure within myself to be like, oh, that's cool. I don't know. This is just my thoughts. I could be wrong. Like, I have no idea. I could be very much wrong.
Yeah,
Listen, y'all checked me in the comments earlier. I still don't know. I feel like if my Work Bay wanted to get me a $3,000 gift card, I don't see what the big deal is. Okay. Anyways. All right. Would you protect your ex? Would you protect your ex if they were in a dire straits? Yes. I don't have any muscles, but yeah, I would call 911. That's all I can do. I can't do nothing else. I can't do nothing. Does working from home mean you got to cook dinner every night when you're married? Listen, if that is what you signed up for, God bless you. But for me, in my house, we going to serve the Lord, and we are not going to cook every day, especially if we are working from home. We going to listen to Damon. Damon said DoorDash it. Okay. So we going to DoorDash. I love DoorDash. Praise God. Hallelujah. I thank God for DoorDash. I just lift DoorDash up right now, and I pray that anyways, I love DoorDash. So I would DoorDash. Absolutely. I don't know about working from home and cooking every single day. That to me sounds a little bit like enslavement. I can't, I wouldn't be able to, can't do it. I'm gonna have to drop the job if you want me to cook every single day, every day. And I gotta clean up the house. Nah, I can't. I ain't able to do it. I don't even like food like that to be doing it. All right. Women nurturing submissiveness. I absolutely love the video that you allow for us to watch, Tim, about submissiveness and how it is a process for women to be submissive and how challenging it is to be submissive, especially when you are in covenant, when you are married to someone who is not a proper leader. I struggle with that. I struggle with being led by somebody who is not a proper leader. That's why women, we have to do a better job at picking proper men, right? We have to do a better job at that. So that's our responsibility. And once we choose that man, we have to be willing to follow them. But I think somebody said they're not going to follow their man to the ends of the earth. He jumps off that cliff. She said she is not jumping, Tim. And I feel that. Somebody got to live to tell a story, okay? All right. And then Dr. Umar speaks out again about wanting his daughter to stay with her husband if he were to cheat on her. What kind of parenting advice is this, man of God? I just don't believe you said that out of your mouth. Like, why do you have a mouth if that's what you're talking about? It doesn't make any sense to me. And last but not least, we talked about training versus raising your kids. We identified that there are two different things, two different ways that we do things. One that applies to a person being okay in the earthly realm. The other that acknowledges more of that spiritual connection that they will have with the Father, and making sure that that relationship is also intact, and that we have to dually and equally not just teach our kids about being successful in education and finances and all of those things, but we got to make sure that we keep them on the right path to make sure that their faith and their spiritual relationship is also intact. So we had a lot of good topics today, Tim. We had a lot of good topics.
Definitely was a great night. We thank you guys as well for joining us here on the Back Pew with Tim and Tam. It's definitely been a great night with you, Tam, and definitely happy to be back.
Yeah. We had some last comments. I want to get into it. I think somebody said mine. Somebody said this is why I listen to you, Tam. So I think maybe I should do a radio show, just smooth jams with Tam.
Oh gosh. We'll all listen to smooth jams with Tam.
All right, fine. Whatever. All right. Michelle says, thank you. Both my little sisters lost their mom 2 days apart, but I'm trying to keep up with y'all. I'm going to rewatch from the beginning. Thank you so much. And I'm so sad to hear that, but it's so awesome that you're there to support your sisters. Praying for you guys. I will be praying for you guys for sure.
Thank you.
She says, sounds good. I work from home. She do meal prep. God bless you. Where do you find the energy? Holly, I don't. Is energy in the room with me right now? I can't. All right. And then come on through then with the smoothest seat.
Tam with the smooth jams. Let's
go. I don't know. Listen, win is win. All right, guys. We'll be here every week, Tuesday, Central Standard Time at 8:30 p.m. Tim, are we still going live in Dallas?
Next time you up here, yeah.
All right, guys. Y'all stay tuned. We thinking about doing a live show everywhere, but we're going to start in Dallas. Yeah, we're going to start in Dallas. We're going to see how that playing out. We don't have no dates, but it's right now. It's a work in progress. Anyways, you got anything else for the people?
Nope. I think it's been a great time. And we will get the dates out to you guys for Dallas. And we about to just be everywhere. Let's make it happen.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week. Until then, we are out. Bye.
We out. Peace.
So, yo, what's going on?
Back Pew.
We got so much to talk about this week.
You know.
We can unpack like these conversations. You can see a pedicure.
You would do.
Depends on his feet.
That could be my feet. What's up, Tam? We in person? We not Back Pew Conversations. What's going on? This
is the Tim and Tam talk. He be doing this stuff on purpose. You here? Go ahead and click that follow, subscribe button, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We everywhere.
Yo, we everywhere. Like literally, we everywhere.